Hello, Symposia. Thank you for joining us for today's service. If you can, please like and share this video so that way you can enjoy today's service with your friends and family. In just a few short moments, our worship team will be on the screen. Please feel free to worship and sing along with them. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoy today's service.
Good morning, Symposia. Please come and worship with us. I've decided, I have resolved to wait upon you, Lord, my rock and redeemer, till every word I wait upon you, Lord, as surely the sun will rise, you'll come to us, certain as the dawn appears. You'll come, let your glory fall as you respond to us. The Spirit rain, flood into our thirsty hearts again. You'll come, you come. We are not shaken, we are not moved. We wait upon you, Lord, a mighty deliverer, triumph in truth. We wait upon you, Lord, as surely as the sun will rise, you'll come to us, certain as your word endures. You'll come, let your glory fall as you respond to us. Spirit rain, come into our thirsty rain, flood into our thirsty hearts again. You come, let your glory fall as you respond to us. Spirit rain, flood into our thirsty hearts again. You come, you come. Here as we wait, seek your face. Come and make your throne upon our praise. Here in this place, have your way. The moment that we see you, we are changed. Show us your glory, show us your glory. In wonder, in surrender, we fall down. Show us your glory, show us your glory. Let every burning heart be holy ground, be holy ground. Here, not by power, not by might, but only by the cross we come alive. Here, we're undone, overcome by heaven's love revealed before our eyes. Show us your glory, show us your glory. In wonder, in surrender, we fall down. Show us your glory, show us your glory. Let every burning heart be holy ground. Show us your glory, show us your glory. In wonder, in surrender, we fall down. Show us your glory, show us your glory. Let every burning heart be holy ground, be holy ground. Ooh. Be holy ground. Ooh. Chains fall, fear bow. Here now, Jesus, you change everything. Lives healed, hope found. Here now, Jesus, you change everything. Chains fall, fear bow. Here now, Jesus, you change everything. Lives healed, hope found. Here now, chains fall, fear fall here now. Jesus, you change everything. Lives heal, hope found, heal now. Jesus, you change everything.
Here at Symposia, your generosity enables us to support our community and also spread the love of God throughout our community. In order to give, you can go to our website at www.symposia.church/give, or you can text any dollar amount to 84321. Again, to give, you can go to our website at www.symposia.church/give, or text any dollar amount to 84321. Thank you so much for your continued generosity. In order to stay up to date with Symposia, please like and follow our Instagram and Facebook pages. Also, if you miss any portion of today's service, you can rewatch it on Facebook and our YouTube channel. Thank you again for being here. Have a great rest of your weekend. Good morning, Symposia. I hope you enjoyed today's worship service. If this is your first time here, thank you for choosing Symposia this morning. If you are returning to Symposia, thank you for continuing to visit with us. These past few months have been somewhat of a roller coaster, but what it has shown us is that we can all come together, no matter our beliefs and our background, to provide the better good for the people that need it. So again, I'm honored to have you here with us, and I'm also honored to have been given the opportunity to speak to you all this morning. I will tell you that I thought really hard about what to speak about, and I decided to select a few verses that really point out to me that we should face our fear. And that's the title of my sermon today, is to face our fear, face your fear. So I chose to select a few verses from the book of Matthew. So if you can, please navigate to Matthew chapter 8, verse 23, and we'll get started with today's message. So in Matthew chapter 8, we see that sometimes when we have fear that builds up inside of us, we call on our God to help ease them. Today I just want to discuss 3 simple points to overcome one's own fear. So many of you are familiar about the story of the disciples that are on the boat with Jesus, and the storm comes and starts battering the boat and causing a ton of fear. And these disciples just pretty much feel that they have no one else to call, no one else to turn to. And they wake up Jesus and say, "We're about to drown. Help us. Please help us. We don't want to die." And you can sort of understand the amount of fear that they have, right? Because they're in the middle of the sea, the storm has started to hit their boat, and they don't know what to do. So they call on their God to help them navigate through that fear. And we'll see that here in this passage. So in Matthew chapter 8, verse 23, we'll read until verse 27. It says, "Then he got into the boat, and his disciples followed him. Suddenly a furious storm came up on the lake, so that the waves swept over the boat. But Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went and woke him, saying, 'Lord, save us. We're going to drown.' He replied, 'You of little faith, why are you so afraid?' Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. The men were amazed and asked, 'What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him.'" I want you to write down this first point. Fight the fear. Tell it what to do. Imagine that you're on that boat in the middle of the sea where darkness is surrounding you without a light shining around. Now, at the winds and the rain from the huge storm that's battering the boat that you expected to provide you with safekeeping, the boat begins to rock and you begin to fear for your life, not knowing what else to do or who to call but God. No, I want you to know that for me, I would never find myself in a situation on a boat, right? Because if it was by choice, I wouldn't be on a boat. I wouldn't be in the water. I don't know how to swim, and I expect it to stay that way. But I will tell you that my fear of swimming or fear of an open bay of water, I don't hide it. I tell my friends and family, if there's water, I'm not coming. If it's a pool party, I won't be there, but I will be there for the food. But I have a story about when I was a kid, and I was probably about 10 years old, and I was at a family reunion, and they were shocked that I didn't know how to swim. And of course, there was an open body of water there and a pool there, and one cousin tried to teach me how to swim by throwing me in the water. Well, I think that was about the last family reunion that I ever went to, and I plan on keeping it that way because I just do not. I have that fear of swimming, and I use it to sort of if I go to a pool party, I go and I mingle with people, I talk to people. I might dabble my feet in the water a little bit, but I just won't swim, and that's okay, right? I use my fear to push me towards going out and meeting new people and starting conversations and enjoying a party or a pool party that way, right? But you just know, me and swimming just isn't a good fit. Trust me, I tried it and I'm done with it. But if I take these verses and I compare it to my own life occurrences, I see that I call on God when I have fear about how I'm going to pay my bills on time, or how a doctor's appointment will go, or how I worry about others. We want to have the faith, but we also sometimes want to give up and walk away from things, but we can't do that. I often repeat the saying, it's okay to not be okay. And it's true. It's okay to be scared of racism. It's okay to be scared of financial worries. Or it's okay to have issues about finding a job, or even having issues on the job or in your marriage or in your relationship. The worry is what tests our faith and pushes us closer to God. I want you to know that we just have to keep the faith even when it gets tough. That is the time when you need to make your faith as strong as it can be. But what is not okay is to let that fear overcome you. Do not let your burdens overcome you. Let your faith push those burdens to the side, and you continue to be a better you. I want to go on to my next point that I want you to write down. Faith, the size of a mustard seed, can move fear the size of a mountain. In Matthew chapter 17, you can recall a story where a man approached Jesus and wanted his son to be healed. The man had already previously brought his son to some of the disciples, and unfortunately the disciples were not able to heal his son. Well, Jesus was able to heal the son, and the disciples were shocked. How could Jesus heal the boy, but not the disciples? It goes on in verse 19, and I'll read that here for you. It says, "Then the disciples came to Jesus in private and asked, why couldn't we drive it out? Jesus replied, because you have so little faith. Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." Everyone, I'm here to tell you that if you keep the faith, your fear will be moved. Face your fear, but know that you have the faith to employ your fear to work for you. Let me repeat that. Face your fear, but know that you have the faith to employ your fear to work for you. Let your fear push you to be a better you with your schoolwork, with your job, with your relationship, or with your marriage. I'll share this story with you as well. As when I was in school, I had a fear of public speaking. In fact, I even decided to take an elective where I focused on public speaking, because I knew that I wouldn't be able to go as far as I wanted to without overcoming that fear of public speaking. I just get very nervous, and sometimes I feel like I'm short of breath, sort of like having an anxiety attack when I start to speak. But I let that fear push me to volunteer to do public speaking engagements, or I raise my hand when I'm in a class or in a meeting, and I actually speak my mind and speak what I think needs to be said. In fact, I use that fear to speak more. So look at me today, speaking in front of you all, thinking that, this may be a showing on a CNN news segment that will likely make its way to social media and thousands of people are going to be watching. While that's probably not the case here today, my mind and my fear is making me feel that it is. My fear is enormous, but I use my faith of knowing that God leads me in the paths that He chose for me, right? God uses my fear to show my faith, and He pushes me towards the paths that He chose for me. I know that the decisions I make are towards His paths because I seek God in every decision that I do make. God is with me as I speak to you just as much as the brown paper bag that is right here next to my leg in case my fear becomes a bit too strong. All God wants is just the faith the size of a mustard seed, and that mustard seed is very small. So with that little bit of faith, you can push those fears, no matter the size, and become a better you, be a better you. Here's my last point. Give your fear to God. And I want to read this verse for you in the book of Philippians, where it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus." Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. So, when you take your fears to Jesus and keep your faith in Him, you will have peace. Peace from your fears, peace from your financial burdens, peace from your relationship, peace from your marriage, peace from the bill of health that may seem discouraging, peace from this COVID pandemic, peace from the stresses of being in a stay-at-home lockdown. Take your fears to God and let Him guide you in fighting the good fight. I want you to know that although you might think fear is a sign of weakness, I think that fear is a sign to show that you can prove your faith, to be able to push out that fear and be able to work on being a better you. You have to face the fear. You can't go into hiding. You can't ignore the fear. You can't think that it doesn't exist, because the moment you acknowledge it, you will be able to prove that your faith is stronger than your fear. There are plenty of Bible verses that we can use to show that we are human. We're going to have fear, and fear is okay. But what you do with it, how you push that fear out, is what determines who you are. I want you to know that, during this time, life is different. There are a ton of fears and fears that you may have not even expected to have in 2020, right? There may be fears of what's to come in 2021. But what I want you to know is that with God by your side and your faith, whether it be a little faith or a lot of faith, God is going to be by your side, and He is going to guide you towards ways of facing your fear. I hope that today's message really motivated you to go out and chase down your fear. Let your faith employ your fear. All right. So if you can, please pray with me while I close out this message. So if you can, bow your head and close your eyes. But Father, I pray that you provide the peace and comfort and healing to those that are fighting a battle that we cannot see, that we cannot hear. I pray that you provide the financial support that people need in times of financial stress. I pray that for our kids that are in school, that they find a way to cope with this new way of education, and that they are able to still enjoy education and still know that they have the support that they need to get their things accomplished. Father, I pray for the family that feels that they do not know what else to do, that feels that they are abiding by these orders that are put in place, that they love their family and their friends, but it's just hard for them to deal with being alone or not being able to cope with the stressors of staying at home. I pray that you guide them towards the answers that they need, and for that finding of what they need in order to know that they are not alone in this fight. Father, I pray for the single parents out there that are going through this struggle alone, that have to juggle online education and also going to work. I pray that you provide them with the support that they need to continue to have them sustain their life, to sustain their way of living during this pandemic. Father, I pray for all the churches across the world, no matter what they believe or how they run their services, that they are bringing people to you, that they are bringing people to the faith. And Father, I pray that someone who has not found their faith in you, someone who has not found healing in the Word of God, that you use those people to become closer to the church and to your Word. Father, I ask for these things in your name, I pray. Hey Symposium, I just want to let you know that I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you this morning. And also, if something in this sermon spoke to you, I want you just to send us a message. If there's something that we can do to pray for you, to pray with you, or just be with you in this time, do not hesitate to reach out and let us know what we can do to better serve you. I want you to know that nobody probably can give you an answer on what's to come and the rest of the year, or what's to happen in 2021. But one thing that I do know is that it's not anything that you cannot defeat. It's not anything that you should be afraid of. It's not anything that you have to fear, right? Our faith, no matter the size, will get us through what's to come, all right? So enjoy the rest of your day. And again, thank you so much for being here with us at Symposium. Bye.
Here as we wait, seek your face. Come and make your throne upon our praise. Here in this place, have your way. The moment that we see you, we are changed. Show us your glory, show us your glory. In wonder, in surrender, we fall down. Show us your glory, show us your glory. Let every burning heart be holy ground, be holy ground. Here, not by power, not by might, but only by the cross we come alive. Here, we're undone, overcome. fall, fear, bow, here, now. Jesus, you change everything. Lives healed, hope found, here, now. Jesus, you change everything. Change, fall, fear, bow, here, now. Jesus, you change everything.